Hello guys, and welcome to the video. And if you watched my previous video, towards the end I mentioned something that I would love to see within the open world of Halo Infinite, and that is random Scarab encounters. No longer do I want these guys locked within the traditional missions that we know and love. I want to encounter these guys randomly within the open world of Halo Infinite. That would be so exciting. So in this video, I'm really going to dive into what I would like to see out of the Scarabs of Halo Infinite, because no longer are they traditional Scarabs. These guys would be Banished Scarabs, and what I want to see out of them in Halo Infinite. Let's dive in. So first of all, if you're going to bring back the Scarabs from Halo 3, they need to not just be a rehash of what we've seen before. They need to be the next evolution of the Scarab. Now, if you saw the Banished Scarabs from Halo Wars 2, they look sick. So cosmetically, done. You got that, bring us that, but gameplay wise, what does that mean within the Halo sandbox? First thing that I would really like to dive into is that if you're bringing back the Scarabs from Halo 3, they need to cover the flaws of that design, because that's gameplay design from 2007. This is 2020. We expect something better than that. I don't want to bring them back if they're just going to rehash what they've done before. So this version, the Banished Scarab, needs to cover the flaws of what we saw in Halo 3. And really the biggest flaw I can think about with the Scarabs of Halo 3 is the fact that the moment you saw them, you knew exactly how you're going to kill them, because once you destroyed them once, you knew how you were going to do it again. Though every time I replay those missions in Halo 3, I always get excited because those missions with Scarabs are so exciting and fun to do. You really kind of whip their asses in like 10 seconds because you've done this before 1,000 times. That's one thing that I believe they need to address if they're going to bring us Banished Scarabs in Halo Infinite. And I believe the way you could do that is by giving us different kinds of Scarabs. The Scarabs will not have the exact same layout. Maybe you have 3 or 4 different kinds of Scarabs that have different objectives within them to kill, because in Halo 3 you had to destroy the little generator in the back and then it would explode. Say you had multiple things you had to do to destroy a Scarab, and that they were different or tweaked depending on the certain Scarab encounter. So say this Scarab you have to destroy a generator and maybe kill a brute chieftain on top, or this one you need to destroy some other piece and then do something else to disable it. Like little variations that make it to where the moment you see the Scarab, you don't know exactly what you're going to do. You have to eventually board it, and then once you're on board, figure out what you have to do to bring down this machine. I think that would add so much more gameplay variety, because we're not going to just be killing these Scarabs the exact same way every time. Now, speaking of having different variations of Scarab, I would love to see completely different types of Scarabs that are suitable for different situations. One thing that I love about the Scarabs of Halo 3 is that this Scarab has its own AI. It's moving around the Halo sandbox, doing its own thing, shooting at people. But on top of that, it also has AI on top of it. There are brutes on this. There are grunts manning turrets. There are jackals. There's all kinds of Covenant on top of the Scarab already. I feel like that's such an awesome thing to have an AI that's covered in AI itself. I think that's really freaking cool and unique, and I would love to see that carried over in Halo Infinite in new ways. So say you have a certain kind of Scarab that's like a troop carrier. So this Scarab is going to be carrying more infantry on it. So if you see this Scarab coming at you, you know that is a troop carrier Scarab. It's going to have more Covenant or Banished on it, and it has the ability to drop off troops. So you need to figure out a way to get on the Scarab as fast as you can, because the longer you spend on the ground, it's going to keep crouching down, dropping off Banished troops to fight you on the ground. That's cool. That's different than what we saw in Halo 3. That's something that I feel like would be an evolution. Now, on top of that, I would love to see new variants on top of that. Say there's a heavy Scarab that is able to carry wraiths under its belly, kind of like a Phantom, how it drops off wraiths on the battlefield. This Banished Scarab is literally dropping off heavy vehicles on the battlefield, and probably my favorite idea for one is having an anti-air Scarab. A Scarab that has an anti-aircraft cannon or something like that on top of it, while also having a hangar on its side, allowing it to launch Banshees. So that if you are fighting the Scarab in an air vehicle, say you're in a Hornet or a Wasp and you're attacking this vehicle, you know that you need to board it quickly, or its anti-aircraft cannon is going to shoot you down, or the Banshees are going to start launching to shoot you out of the sky before you can even destroy the Scarab that way. I think having different kinds of Scarabs like that is such a great idea, because different Scarabs are going to be suitable or more effective at defending and attacking against certain playstyles. So it adds so much more variety than what we saw in Halo 3, just by having the ability to be able to counter different things. So the heavy Scarab might be better at countering tanks, the infantry Scarab might be better at just like overwhelming you on the ground with infantry, and the AA one is just going to be launching Banshees and preventing you from flying in the air in the first place. And now probably the craziest thing that I would love to see with Scarabs in Halo Infinite, and I know I mentioned this in a video like months ago, but the more I think about it, the more I want it. I think it would be so cool. How cool would it be if after you disabled the Scarab and it's getting ready to explode, if you're fast enough, you can rush into the control room of the Scarab, grab the controls, and control it for a little bit, not very long, just a little bit before it explodes. How cool would that be? Because it's a risk-reward thing. Because if you want to just get away safely, you disable it, it's going to explode in 30 plus seconds, you get off, boom, it explodes, you're fine. But if you're fast enough, you might be able to get to the control room, flip a switch that delays the explosion for maybe 30 seconds so that you can grab the controls, shoot the Scarab gun, and maybe even drive the Scarab into a group of its enemies and then leave the Scarab where it explodes and blows up its own enemies. That would be so freaking cool within the open world environment of Halo Infinite, because that's a sandbox thing. That is a sandbox experience that I would imagine only be playable in a game like Halo. I would love to see that. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. But at the end of the day, guys, if they're going to bring back the Scarabs from Halo 3, because we haven't fought the Scarabs in a first-person Halo game since Halo 3, where we could actually destroy them. That is over a decade ago. So if they're going to bring them back, they need to bring them back meaningfully. They can't just be a rehash of what we've seen in Halo 3. They need to be bigger, they need to be badder, they need to have more variety and more fun, and really take advantage of the open world environments that we're going to see in Halo Infinite. These are my ideas. I would love to see different variations of Scarabs so that we don't know exactly how we're going to kill it when we see it. I want to see different kinds of Scarabs that have different capabilities, some that drop vehicles, some that drop infantry, some that are literally launching Banshees out of hangars, so that you have to approach them differently every single time. And I would just love to be able, if you disable it, be able to drive it and use the Scarab gun for a few moments before the thing explodes. That would be incredible. And a sandbox experience that you can only experience in a game like Halo. These are the kinds of innovations I need to see in Halo Infinite, that I'm begging to see in Halo Infinite. But what do you guys think? Do you want to see Scarabs return in Halo Infinite? If they do, what do you want to see from them that I haven't mentioned in this video? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm really excited to see what you guys have to say about this. But that is all I have for this video. If you liked this video, or you found yourself liking this video, be sure to drop a like on it. It helps the video reach more Halo fans, and I'd greatly appreciate it. And I also make new videos every single week, so be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya. So I teased at the end one thing. Nah, I'm gonna do that again. Teased at the end. Damn! They need to be brought back in a meaningful way. I don't want a rehash of what we've done in Halo 3. I want something bitter. I want something bitter.